Sure can.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you allowing me to go over our critical illness and disability products. The first product I'm going to go over with you today is called our Critical Advantage product. It's been a very popular product with agents out there. And one of the reasons why is because within the last couple months, we actually reduced rates on this product portfolio by 20%. So we were very competitive within this marketplace before. Now I can confidently tell you from an A+ rated carrier, you're going to get the most value from a A+ rated carrier that you can possibly get, because not only do we have that brand name recognition, but also very competitive rates. I believe right now at this time with this type of product, we're going to have the lowest rates in the environment. So within the Critical Advantage portfolio itself, there's 3 different products that you can potentially sell your clients. We have a critical illness product that covers not only your cancer, your heart attack and stroke, but also 9 other conditions. We have a cancer product as well as a heart attack and stroke product. Now, the reason that you see carriers out there in the marketplace strip out cancer and heart attack and stroke and add them or offer them as a standalone type option is because cancer, heart attack, and stroke make up about 80% of all claims. Cancer is around 65%, and then heart attack and stroke is around 15%. So if we look at the critical illness product first, and in the entire portfolio as a whole, there's a lot of different variations of the policy design that can really meet your client's budget. So I know all of you out there are familiar with life insurance, and we know that whole life is a lot more expensive than term life. Well, it works the same way with this product. So you can sell a lifetime coverage option with this product of 18 to 64 issue age range, and then a term coverage option of 18 to 54. Now, that term coverages that you have, we have a 10-year, a 15, 20, or 30-year term. The nice thing about these products is if you approach your client, say they really like this critical illness product, but they can't afford that lifetime coverage at this point, what you can do for them is convert that over to lifetime coverage any year from 3 through 10 in the policy without any additional underwriting. So it's a huge selling point for you as the agent. And then coverages, we do individual, single parent, and family coverage. And then our benefit amounts start as low as $10,000 and then go up to $100,000. That's a tax-free lump sum check that they get in the mail upon diagnosis. We move in $1,000 increments from that $10,000 up to $100,000. There's a huge selling point on this critical illness product that no other carrier in this market has, and that is this built-in lump sum return of premium upon death. This is built into the product. It is not a rider that you add on to it. So what that means for you as the agent is you can confidently tell every client you sell this to, hey, if you live a long, healthy, happy life, you don't use this policy, every premium you pay into it is coming to your beneficiary when you die. Here's a look at all the covered conditions with this product. We offer internal cancer, malignant melanoma, heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's. That's a big condition that we do cover, because not a lot of carriers out there in the market do cover Alzheimer's. We have major organ transplant, blindness, paralysis, deafness, and then kidney failure. All this is paid out at 100% of the benefit that the client chooses. It doesn't matter how serious the diagnosis is or how acute. As long as they have that, they are able to go on claim and get that full amount of benefit paid to them. And then covered at 25%, we have coronary artery bypass surgery and then coronary angioplasty surgery. And then optional riders that you can add on this type of policy. We have a cash value rider. I refer to this as our living return of premium rider. And what that means is if they buy that lifetime coverage option within the policy, they can add this cash value rider. And then at 25 years down the road, as long as they're paying their premiums, they can get the entire premium amount paid back to them while they're living and cancel that policy. We also offer an intensive care unit rider. This is going to pay a benefit of anywhere from $250 a day up to $1,000 as long as the client goes into the ICU. They don't have to go in there for a critical illness. It could be for any accident or sickness. Now, if we look at the cancer, heart attack, and stroke products, they're pretty similar. However, We have a lot wider issue age range. So on our lifetime coverage on that critical illness product that I just showed you, we went from 18 to 64. Well, our lifetime coverage is 18 to age 89 for both the cancer, heart attack, and stroke. So if you're familiar with Mutual of Omaha, really our flagship product here is our Medicare supplement. And we've seen a lot of agents within that marketplace that are adding on our cancer, heart attack, and stroke products as a great added sale. If you are selling life insurance, we have a ton of agents out there in the marketplace that add this on. We know the cost of leads are rising every single day. These types of products are great ways for you to go ahead and drive down your cost of acquisition, also build fences around your client. We know that if you're selling them multiple products within the house, you are no longer their agent, you're their advisor. They're going to come to you next time to get their next insurance policy. So if we're looking at the coverages, we do individual, single parent and family coverage, and then benefit amounts are the same as that critical illness. One thing I want to point out on here is that built-in return of premium that we had on that critical illness policy, that is not available on that cancer, heart attack, and stroke. So the only two differences between those two policies is we have a higher issue age range for lifetime coverage, and there's no built-in return of premium. Everything else here is the same. Now, here's what agents really love about our underwriting, or about the product in general, and that is our underwriting features. We have both express and simplified underwriting. We call express any benefit amount that you write from $10,000 to $50,000. And what that means is we are only underwriting off the application questions. So if you are selling a cancer policy, for instance, we only ask 3 total questions to the client. That is, do you have HIV or AIDS? In the last 10 years, have you had any internal cancer? And then in the last 3 years, have you had any pre-screenings for cancer that weren't ruled out as cancers? If they say no to all 3 questions, it's a policy between $10,000 to $50,000. You can confidently tell that person, hey, congratulations, I know for sure you're getting this policy because Mutual of Omaha doesn't underwrite it any further. Now, if you're writing a policy of $51,000 to $100,000, then we're going to underwrite off those app questions, and then we have an MIB and prescription check, as well as a random telephone interview, 1 out of every 10. Now, it doesn't matter what size of policy that you sell with us. Our average issue time on this is less than 48 hours. So it's a very quick turnaround. I can confidently tell you that I've had agents call me 2 hours after a sale and say, hey, I already got an email from your underwriting team. So it's very quick, which means that you not only get paid a lot quicker, but the client has 0 buyer's remorse with that sale as well. Key advantages of this product, there's a bunch of advantages that we already went over as well. But one that I want to highlight here is there's no reduction in base benefits at any age. So if you're familiar with this type of marketplace, some of my competitors at age 65 or 70, they realize as you get older, you're more likely to trigger one of the conditions covered within that policy. So at age 65, they may go ahead and slice your benefit amount that you signed up for in half. We will never do that. So the benefit amount that your client signs up for is the benefit they'll ultimately get if they go on claim. We also have an e-application and paper application. To go ahead and access that e-application, you have to go through our website at mutualofomaha.com. There's no policy fee, and you can go ahead and payroll deduct or list fill this policy 3 or more lives. Another great thing about this is we are in every single state except 2. So depending on where you're at in the country, if maybe you have multiple state licenses, especially right now in this environment, if you're not able to go and meet people face to face, this is a great, easy way for you to go back to your clients that maybe you've already sold to, or maybe you've got some old leads out there that you want to work, and approach them to buy a cancer, heart attack, and stroke or critical illness product. So these 2 questions right here comes directly from my top agents out in the field, and I've simply asked them, how are you selling this? What is the #1 way that you ask your clients to buy it? And they simply say, who has your cancer policy? 9 times out of 10, that person is going to say, well, what do you mean? I don't have a cancer policy. Well, maybe you just bought this Medicare supplement. Well, that Medicare supplement is going to make sure that the hospitals and doctors, they get paid, but it doesn't make sure that you get paid. Because if you do get cancer, this day and age, more than likely you're not going to the nearest hospital down the street to get treatment for that. You could be referred out of state. If that happens, you may be on multiple plane rides. You may be staying in a hotel for an extended period of time. That's all money out of your pocket. And that's what really this type of policy comes into play to cover. Because if you do get something like cancer or heart attack and stroke, your mind should really be on getting better. It should be not on what's happening in your financial situation, because that's added stress, and that's going to kind of hinder your progress to get better as well. A more aggressive approach, if you are selling a health policy or anything like that, is to say, now just make sure you don't cancel your cancer policy. They might say, well, what do you mean I don't have one either? And then you get into all those indirect costs that they could face with getting a cancer, heart attack, and stroke claim. Mm-hmm. So here's my contact information. I've got a little bit more hair in this picture, but there's my cell phone number and my email address. So if you do have any other questions after the call, feel free to reach out to me. Really, our job, Brent and I's job, is to really help you grow and be successful, not only with Mutual of Omaha, but as agents. So if we really don't do that for you, then we don't have jobs. We aren't making an income stream. So please ask us any questions that you have. We're here to help you. I put on sales support, underwriting, and licensing. So if you do need to reach out to any of those other departments, sales support is always a great resource for you. Those people are unbelievable at Mutual of Omaha. You know, they're trained in multiple different products. So they can really kind of be a jack of all trades for you, but feel free to reach out to them as well. So with that, Mike, that's kind of the presentation I had for you today. Appreciate you having me on the call. And if there are any questions, we can go ahead and open them up.
Okay. And I know I've gotten one already. And so I'll ask people, if you've got questions, please use the chat group or text me, or if you want to open up your mic and speak up. But I had one here. They said, on the heart attack plan, if the heart attack, so a person has a heart attack and then they die, does the plan pay the benefits out?
Great question. And yes, it does. So that benefit's going to get paid to the beneficiary listed on the application.
Okay. Now I have another question similar. If they die and then they have a heart attack, does it pay out?
If they have a heart attack after they die?
Yeah. That happened to a friend of mine once. I'm just kidding. All right.
I've never heard of that, but
I'm messing with you. I figured somebody might be thinking.
You threw me for a loop there, that's for sure. I was like, what's he going with this?
I'm just having fun. All right. So, but that's a big one. On the disability, I'm going to come back. So I want to make sure any occupation you guys will cover, as long as they're working more than 30 hours a week and we're not going above 70% of their income. Is that correct? Is there any employers or occupations that are excluded on that?
As long as they are working in a legal occupation, making at least $15,000 and working 30 hours a week,
okay.
They can meet the height weight chart, and they are healthy enough, they can get coverage. So no occupations are excluded.
Okay. All right. I had somebody here ask me, or they posted in the chat actually. Let's see. It says, can you go over the cash value rider again? I think I heard him say there was a return of premium after 15 years.
So it's actually 25 years. You have to buy, you have to buy the lifetime coverage option. If you add that cash value rider, there is a chart in our underwriting guide, and every single year that you have that policy in place, that cash value rider piggy bank per se is going to grow. So each year you're paying your premiums, you're going to get more into that cash value rider piggy bank. And at 25 years, it's going to build up to 100%. Now at 10 years, it could be, 5%. And then it kind of ratchets up very quickly once you get up to 25 years. But what that's going to allow you to do is cancel your policy while you're living and get some of your premiums back to you, if not all.
Okay, that's big. Another question. Will critical illness pay for Huntington's chorea? And is that one of the covered illnesses?
It is not, and I can go back to the covered illnesses page if you want me to. Here we go.
Okay, so internal cancer, heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, major organ transplant, blindness, paralysis, deafness, or kidney failure. All right, good. All right, the coverage is set up as either the cancer policy or the heart attack and stroke. Do they have to have both as a rider in order to qualify for the 9 extra conditions?
Great question. So maybe I actually went over that too quickly. So these are 2 separate policies, the cancer, heart attack, and stroke. So you've got a cancer policy that you could write them, or you've got a heart attack and stroke policy that you write them, or you can sell them together. And how you would sell them together is you pick one of those conditions as the base policy, and then you choose the other as a rider. So for instance, if you are selling a cancer policy, you can go up to $100,000 of coverage, and then you can choose the heart attack and stroke as a rider, and then you can choose a different amount on that. So I'm going to give you an example here. If I'm selling a $50,000 cancer policy to an individual, I could go ahead and sell them a $10,000 heart attack and stroke rider. One will not affect the other. So what I mean is if you get paid out on that $50,000 cancer policy, you're still going to have a $10,000 heart attack and stroke rider in place.
Okay. All righty. And so as I'm listening and trying to take notes and capture this myself, I didn't see this question asked, but I'm going to ask it. So there is a critical illness policy, and then that's a separate product. Then there's a cancer policy, and then there's a heart attack and stroke policy. The critical illness covers everything. The cancer is a separate, so that if you couldn't qualify for the critical illness, you get the cancer and then maybe get the heart attack and stroke as a rider, or you could get the heart attack and stroke and get the cancer as a rider. Did I hear that correctly?
That is correct. Yep, you're exactly right there.
Perfect. Okay.
And the other great thing about this product is that I failed to mention is we do not actually ask any family history questions. So that's another thing to bring up with your clients. You know, ask them, has anybody in your immediate family had cancer, heart attack, and stroke? You know, a lot of times they have, because we all know somebody that's had cancer, heart attack, and stroke. You know, as a man, I have a 1 in 2 lifetime risk. For women, it's 1 in 3 to actually get cancer.
Okay. That's right. For critical illness, it's listed as unisex. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It is unisex rates.
Okay. What happens if a client has multiple strokes? Do they get a payout for each time or just the first one?
Just the first incident they're going to get paid out on, and then we actually are going to go ahead and shut the policy down, or the policy ends at that point, and then they would not be available to go ahead and reapply for coverage after that, unless it's 10 years later.
But they won't have to pay any premiums either.
That is correct, yes.
So, all right, there we go. All right, if you get the heart attack and stroke policy, can you add the cancer rider later, or would it have to be a whole new policy?
You cannot later. It would have to be a whole new policy. And essentially, with these 2 products, it's essentially two policies in one that we are actually selling to the client anyway. So they could come back and, you know, add another cancer policy, but they're going to have to go through those underwriting questions for cancer, because as you're going through the application, excuse me, in itself, if you're only selling a cancer policy, there's going to be 3 total questions for cancer that pop up. But if you add that heart attack and stroke rider, you're going to see 4 more questions pop up on the application itself.
Okay, got it. Okay. And also, I guess the pricing is based on the time you got as a rider. So if you get it now or you get it later as a separate policy. Okay, makes sense. Will critical illness cover COVID if there are pulmonary issues, or should we just sell the ICU benefits?
It does not cover, you know, COVID is not listed as a covered condition within the policy. If they're worried about, COVID and needing extra treatment, the ICU is probably a good addition to that policy.
Okay.
Long answer short, yeah, we do not cover COVID conditions unless it's related to, a heart attack or stroke or anything like that.
Okay. Next was put up there. Let's see. Critical illness has a 10-year look back on cancer, HA, or heart attack and stroke. So, but after, if it's been more than 10 years, then they are okay. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Hey, Kyle, you've kept a lot of people. This is a lot of questions. This is probably the most questions we've had on a product session like this. You've done a good job of helping people get their minds open and get them thinking here.
That's good. That means there's interest.
Yes.
And they realize that they can make some extra money too. So
Helping some families, making some more money. In fact, if you're doing more final expense, I'd be like, yes, definitely know the Critical Advantage product. If you're doing more mortgage protection, well, maybe you look at the disability, but definitely understand, hey, this is a great product. It really does impact people. And the last thing is being able to tell the story and say, hey, has anybody in your family had a heart attack or a stroke or cancer? Or in the sales process, as you hear that, take care of the main need, make a mental note, and come back to it. Hey, remember how you said your brother had a heart attack? Or remember how you said your dad died of a heart attack? Hey, can you imagine if he'd gotten a check for like $30,000 at that time? Would that have helped? Said, you realize you've got, with his cancer, do you realize you've got as a guy a 50% chance of getting cancer? When you get cancer, how would it feel to get a $30,000 or $40,000 check at that time? Would that be helpful? And when they say yes, you'd be surprised at how inexpensive it is. We should see if we can get you qualified. You'd be surprised. Let me look at the rates. Oh my gosh, Kyle, it's pretty amazing. It's only $37 a month for that, or all $42 a month, or $29 a month. I'm going to see if we can get you approved.